Hi, I'm Jess. I'm marketing manager at the Travel Village in the Ocean Cruise department, and we've wanted to talk to you today about the wonderful world of staycations at sea. Obviously, a lot of people have had their summer plans cancelled last winter, last autumn, last summer. It's been a terrible year, basically, if you wanted to get away. But this year, if you want that resort-style experience, you can still do it without having to navigate that awful traffic light system in going abroad. How do you do that? You get on board a wonderful cruise ship direct from the UK and experience everything that the cruise industry is absolutely known for and loved for. And today we're talking to Gill. Jill's just come back off Celebrity Silhouette. I'm eternally jealous because I haven't been on board a ship in around about 18 months, which is a long time for some people, especially me. So, hi, Gill. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. How are you?
Very good. Thanks. You had a lot of choice this summer. We've got a lot of different cruise lines sailing out from the UK. We've got them going from Southampton, from Liverpool, from Portsmouth. And you chose to go down to Southampton and went on board the lovely Celebrity Silhouette. Why?
It's fair to say there's so much choice, great options out there. Had a couple of cruises cancelled last year. I'm sure a lot of us did. And I was so eager, just wanted to see the new revolution that Celebrity have done on Silhouette. So I was keen to see that firsthand and just see all the changes on board. And it's been so long, like you say, since I've been on a ship. Walking up that gangway the first time, it was really actually quite emotional. Brilliant to be back on board.
Yeah, I actually saw on your social media them giving you a lovely clap and welcome on board. I felt emotional just watching you go on board. So yeah, it must have been amazing for you.
And the crew were just so, like you say, so welcoming, so pleased to have customers and guests on board and doing what they do so well, looking after us.
It's been a long time for us, but it's also been a long time for them, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, quite an emotional experience getting back on board. And I can see why, because watch this. This will show you everything that you've been missing about cruising for the last 18 months. Yeah. So, I mean, we are living in a new world currently. What sort of loopholes did you have to go through to get on board?
Everyone that went on the Celebrity cruise needed to have both their vaccines or be deemed as fully vaccinated. And then also 3 days before the cruise, every passenger needed to have a PCR test. Every passenger over 18, needed to have a PCR test. This is funded by Celebrity. They send you a link. It's quite a simple process. You just register, book your appointment, convenient time for you. You get given a 2-day window where you can go, and there's like plenty of choices all over the country. If there's one that's not handy for you, you can book your own private independent PCR test, and Celebrity will refund the money to you in form of onboard credit on the cruise. And if you don't use it, you'll have that refunded as cash. So it really was quite simple, really.
Fantastic. It's nice to see them supporting us getting away as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously none of the ships are sailing at full capacity at the minute. Were there many people on board? Did it feel empty?
No, not at all. There was around 1,000 passengers on board, and it was a lovely atmosphere. You know, nowhere was overly busy, but it like I say, it wasn't empty. You could get a seat if you wanted to go for a coffee, or if you wanted to go to the buffet restaurant, you could get a seat in there. There was you were made to feel very safe on board as well. But like I say, all the venues, you know, if you went to one of the lounges, there was like certainly enough people in there for it to have atmosphere. Whilst we were away, there were a couple of football matches that we're quite excited with. So, but the results were all favourable whilst we were on board. However, the moment that we step off, that's when it all went wrong. So they should have kept me on board, and maybe the results would have been a bit different. But great job, guys.
Maybe you shouldn't have come home.
Exactly. Did try. But yeah, no, and the crew, like I say, the crew are just so happy to have like customers back on board, you know, and you felt very, very safe on board.
Have they put any sort of procedures in place specifically to help you feel safer on board?
Yeah, everyone is mindful of social distancing. For instance, if you go into the buffet restaurant, there's a one way in, a one way out. Obviously, they ask you to use hand sanitizer. If you are inside, walking from, say, point A to point B or back to your room, face masks need to be worn, but you don't feel like inhibited. It's just what you would expect anyway. If you're in the lounge, or if you're, you know, in one of the dining venues, or even stood up in one of the bars but having a drink, you don't need to wear a face mask. The crew, when they're inside, wear face masks all the time, and that again is how, you know, we're made to feel safe. And obviously you need to wear face masks in the elevators as well, but again they're limiting it to like 4 people in the elevators, and you know, guests were very respectful of that as well. Yeah, it was good.
Okay. And is it still the sort of classic thing where you're in a restaurant, you've got a menu, and I'm assuming they've done things to stop people touching stuff around the ship?
Yeah, you've got there's an app that's been completely revamped, and even if you're not the most like techie person, which I'm not really, I much prefer to write things down, I was still able to navigate my way around the app quite easily. If you go to one of the bars, they have, for instance, like the Cafe Al Baccio, they have a QR code that you can scan with your app, and it brings up the menu if you don't want to use a paper menu. They've got the paper menus if you want, but you can look at it all on your phone. Similarly, in the restaurants, you can use it. You can scan the QR code, and you get all the menu on your device that you can have a look at quite simply. But for those guests who are a little bit worried about technology, they do have paper copies available. Again, they don't come in like the leather bound wallets that they would normally come in. You just get given the paper single-use menu for you to choose from. The app is also really good because it's got the daily planner on there. You can see where's open for food, my favorite pastime. You can see what time the shows are on, like great entertainment on board, and where they're playing live music. And again, it's so good to see like live music and singing and everything like that, because that, you know, that is everything that we have been missing for so long. And if you go to the theatre, again, with regards to social distancing, if you're sat as a couple, so for instance, my husband and I, we would be asked to leave 2 seats between ourselves and, you know, the next group of guests on board. So again, just being mindful of other people, but without it feeling like you are, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, you mentioned the theatres there. Everything's on board as open as per usual.
Yeah, absolutely. The daily planner was full of like activities. They've revamped the bingo. I didn't do the bingo, but they've got a device-friendly bingo that you can take part in now. So I know bingo is a lot of people's favourite. But yeah, the gym is open. Again, I'm so sorry I didn't go. I'm allergic, but it would be right up your street. The theatre, the gift shops open, obviously, when we were at sea. Casino operating very safely. Swimming pools, hot tubs. Yeah, you know, I felt like I was on holiday, and that is what I wanted to feel. You know, it's been, like I say, a long time coming.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Definitely. I mean, you mentioned earlier the ship's been through a revolution. You've been on Silhouette previously before this year, haven't you?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what were the main things that you were sort of looking forward to seeing on board and experiencing?
Well, all the staterooms have been revolutionized, if you like.
Yeah.
So they've been brought into like the same kind of color scheme as like Edge and Apex.
Oh, I love that.
The suite class area, you've got the retreat area on board the ship that is like for all the suite guests. That is used to be the solstice deck. Beautiful there. You've got your own bar up there, sun lounges, like your own little cabanas that you can go in. They look like, some of them look like little beach huts. They're really they've done there. And you've got jacuzzi up there. They've also got lots of new different slot machines in the casino, photo area on board, new shops, Lumine restaurant on board for the suite guests. Completely done out. One of the speciality restaurants was cuisine. Now, I used to like cuisine when she was on this, but she's been taken to that next level, and she is now called Le Petit Chef. So
I love Le Petit Chef.
So it's completely revolutionized. It's where, you know, you have it's a set menu, but they film it under the table. It's like telling a whole story, and it needs to be seen to be believed.
It really does. Yeah, it's definitely one of my celebrity cruises highlights.
Yeah, the technology behind it is just fantastic. But again, lots of lovely areas on board. She's just looking really tip top. Anyway, don't take my word for it. Ring me up and I'll get you on board.
Too true. What about shore excursions? Obviously, she's going around the UK. Can you get off?
You can get off at the moment as part of an organised shore excursion with Celebrity Cruises, as per their policy that's in place at the moment. Reasonably priced. There's some great options. I didn't do any because I was quite happy just to stay on board the ship and just use the facilities and just relax, which was I'll come back to that in a moment. But in terms of like the ports of call, so for instance in Belfast, you had the opportunity to go to Giant's Causeway, which I talked to some customers and I saw some pictures. It looked stunning. Also, there's a Titanic museum that you can go to. Liverpool, a bit close to home for us, but you could go and do the Beatles experience. And I know Dover was another port of call. This actually sounded quite fun. And, you know, if I was going to do any, I would have done this. You actually got taken to like a cookery school and you were taught how to make scones and you could bring them back with you. Absolutely. Nice. But then
you jam or cream
on? That starts the argument of like, is it cream first or jam first? So...
Are you sitting on the fence with that one? I'm
sitting on the fence. I don't want to offend anybody.
All right.
But then also bringing me back, I was going to say the Sunset Bar. They used to have the grassed area where you could play bowls and croquet. Okay. They've now extended the area, and it's very similar to the rooftop garden on Apex and Edge. Really lovely area, and you know, we didn't struggle to get seats. They've got like rocking chairs there. If it does get a bit cool, they've got blankets and like there's bar service. They'll come out and serve you. They'll have like live music, and it's just such a relaxing area to be, you know, at the back of the ship. You know, they have like live music there as well in the evening.
That sounds absolutely gorgeous. I think that's everything that we're missing at home at the minute, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Just want to go out and be taken care of and not worry about a thing except the views in front of you, the sunset on the back of the ship.
Absolutely. Stunning. Yeah.
So, I mean, we've talked about a lot of stuff there, Gill. Really important stuff. What was your favourite meal?
Oh, gosh, too many to mention. I did put some pounds on when I was away. I mean, there's some wonderful choices, and a lot of people have been asking me, you know, are the buffet restaurants open? I took some pictures of the buffet. They have like so many choices of cakes, pastas, Asian food, you name it, roasts. They've got it all, Tex-Mex, everything. But the way that they're doing it, they will plate it on you. You'll hold your plate and they'll put it on your plate for you. So you just say it like that, you point to whatever you want.
You still go up to the buffet bar. You don't sit at the table and ask them to tell you what's
you still get to go and see what you want. And there's like plenty, we didn't have to wait, so there's no queues or anything like that. And we always got the table. So that was really good in there. I love the main dining room, the choice of food, and even for the strangest of palates, they'll accommodate you if you wanted something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
We treated ourselves this time to the specialty dining package. So we just did Lawn Club Grill, which is outside eating experience, pastas and pizzas and kebabs, as in like on skewers, kebabs on skewers. Nice. Really great. We did that one evening. We also did Muranos, where we had like a beautiful Chateaubriand. They come and cut it at your table. And then we had like crepes for dessert, where they flambe it at your table as well. That was really good. You can see why I put the pounds on. But I think my favourite meal had to be Tuscan Grill. We did this on our last night. It was perfect weather. We had a table that was right by the window, right at the back of the ship. It's an Italian a la carte restaurant. We had like a sharing platter to start with. Then we had like garlic flatbreads, and then we had like a small pasta dish for like an antipasta starter.
I'm trying not to drool on camera here.
And then we went on to like filet mignon, and then you had to save room for dessert. It was just, they're famous for their tiramisu. And that had to be, perfect end, like a wonderful holiday. You've got the sun starting to go down. You're at the back of the ship, so relaxing. So, yeah, that was my favourite. I'm now still trying to lose the extra poundage.
I'm sure you'll do it. I'm sure you will. So, when are you back on board?
Oh, my gosh, not soon enough. Next week, if I could. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience on board, Gill. You've opened my eyes. I'm sure you'll have opened a lot of other people's eyes as well. If you are still looking for a summer holiday for this year, and you are looking for that resort style experience, you want to go away and you want to be taken care of, you want to be pampered, you want to eat great food, you want beautiful views, and you still want to be able to get off and see beautiful places, call us about the wonderful UK Staycations at Sea. And why not ask for Gill? She's been on board. She can tell you anything. So thanks for watching and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.